Today we're going to learn about separation of variables, and I'll give you the list of 4 steps and then we'll do a couple problems together. You are going to need a good number of space, so please make sure you try to write as tiny as possible, I would say. Okay? So separation of variables is exactly what it says. We need to make sure we separate our variables so that we would be allowed to do integration. So the first thing is we're going to make sure we separate the variables, so one variable is on the left hand side but the other variable is on the right hand side. We are then going to integrate both sides and make sure we put our plus c. And now we're actually going to be given more information so we can see what to do with that plus c. So what we'll do is we'll do the first problem together and we'll talk about each step. Question says, find the particular solution y equals f of x to the given differential equation with the initial condition f of 1 equals negative 2 and a derivative dy dx equals y cubed times x minus 2. So let's go ahead and highlight the important parts and see what we're looking for. So it says I need to find a y equals f of x, which is I need an equation where at the end it says y equals blah 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 with x's in it. This initial condition is going to be important for the ending steps, and I get this derivative right here. So if I have a derivative and I want to get to a y, the one thing we know we need to do is we need to integrate. So step 1 said I need to separate my variables, and if you take a look at my derivative, y dx equals y cubed times x minus 2. I notice I have y's and x's on both sides. So what I need to do is I need to separate my variables. In order to get the x's on the same side, I'm going to multiply by dx, right? But also in order to get the y cubes on the correct side, I need to divide by y cubed. So once we do this, you see that these dx's cancel, these y cubes cancel, and if I were to rewrite this, I get dy is equal to x minus 2 dx. And so that's step 1. We need to make sure we get the y's on one side. Oh, sorry, divided by y cubed. I forgot the y cubed right here. We have to make sure we get the y's on one side, which is right here. Then we have to make sure we have the x's on the other side, which is right there. So step 2 says we need to take the antiderivative by integrating both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to integrate this side and I'm going to integrate this side and use the rules that we've learned. So on the left hand side, in order to integrate, I need to move up that 3. Right? And so I'm going to rewrite everything again just to keep our steps right, our steps in order. And for all of these, I use power rules, constant rules. So what we end up getting is y to the negative 2 divided by negative 2. Technically, there's a plus c, but since c is a constant, I'm just going to add it on one side. On this side, we get x squared divided by 2 minus 2x, and this is where I'm going to add our plus c. Okay? So one thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to simplify this just so I can start doing work. And so I'm going to move powers down and etc. So what we see is we're going to move that y to the negative 2 down to the bottom. So it's 2y squared is equal to x squared over 2 minus 2x plus c. Now, step 3 says find the value of the constant c by substituting the initial condition. Now that I have an equation with y's and x's, I can plug in the initial condition that I said of f of 1 is equal to -2. Because we know this is true, I can plug in 1 for all the x's and a -2 for all the y's, and after doing some algebra, I'll be able to find my c. And so, if I start plugging in, I get -1 over 2 times -2 squared is equal to 1 squared over 2 minus 2 times 1 plus c. And if we finish this, we get -1 over -2 squared is 4 times 2 is 8 is equal to 1 over 2 minus 2 plus c. So in order to get everything on the right side, I'm going to move everything over here, so I get -1 over 8 minus 1 over 2 plus 2 equal to c. To get common denominators, I need to multiply this by 4, this by 4, this by 8, this by 8. And if I finish this off, we get -1 minus 4 plus 16 all over 8 is equal to our c. And if I do all the math, I get -5 plus 6, which should give us 11 over 8 is equal to our c. So now what we're going to do is we are going to plug in that c into our equation, and the final step is to multiply everything so that we can get our y by itself. So what we're going to do is I'm going to write in -1 over 2y squared we said was equal to x squared over 2 minus 2x plus 11 over 8. And as you notice, everything is not yet set to y equals. So the first thing we need to do is figure out how to get this y by itself. And right now we see that we have a negative and we have a 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by -2 to simplify. And if I distribute all of this, what we get left over is 1 over y squared, since that's going to cancel out this negative and that 2. Over here, we notice this cancels this 2, and I get a negative x squared plus 4x. And here, this becomes a 4, and I get -11 over 8. Then what I need to do is I need to make sure I get the y squared out of the denominator, so I multiply everything by y squared. And we get 1 is equal to, and I'm going to keep all of this in parentheses, -x squared plus 4x minus 11 over 8 times y squared, which now means I can divide everything by -x squared plus 4x. And I'm going to extend this just so I don't have to rewrite it. Okay? So since I'm doing this on both sides, so real quickly let me copy this whole thing because I'm too lazy to rewrite it. So I do it on that side, and I have to do it on this side, right here, right? And then what we see is on this side, this whole thing cancels. And what I get is 1 over negative x squared plus 4x minus 11 over, oh sorry, that should be a 4. That should be a 4, that should be a 4, and that should be a 4. Let me go back up and check. Yeah, I forgot to make that a 4. This right here should be a 4. And all of this is equal to y squared. So finally, in order to get my y by itself, what we see is I have to square root this whole thing. I square root this and I square root this. And just to get it into y equals, I see y is equal to the square root 1 over negative x squared plus 4x minus 11 over 4. And this is the answer to our problem. Alright, so go ahead and take a look at that, and I'll put up the next video so you can take a look at how we can do this for other problems. Thank you.